Hi, it's Kathy from Raven Vintage. Let's do some bunny journals. I have grabbed a couple of these chocolate bunny boxes. They have the clear cutout of the bunny here with some acetate glued in there already. So we're going to take these boxes apart somewhat and then use them actually as the cover to our journal. And then I'm working on printing some printables right now in pinks and blues. I have this package of thin scrapbook paper, stickers and such. This I got thrifting somewhere. I don't even know what kit that is. I have some miscellaneous tea dyed papers, some food coloring dyes I did a while ago, avocado dyed. I have some old children's books. And then this is an opportunity to dig out those laces that I never use because of most everything I do is a vintage style. So the bright pinks and blues, I'm going to incorporate them with some vintage papers and some authentic vintage papers as well. But this is going to be an opportunity to use some of these brighter laces and ribbons that I don't often get the chance to use because they just don't go with my journals. So there is some older stuff in here as well. So let's get started. I have my ribbons kind of laid out in front of me like this for some inspiration. Let's get started with chopping these boxes apart. So I want to get rid of the flaps and the one side of the spine and the bottom. Basically what we want to keep is this top section here, this for the spine, and this would be the back cover. If you don't have a bunny box, that's okay. You can just grab an old, if you're recycling a box, you can grab an old cracker box, cereal box, whatever you like. This is going to be a tall, skinny journal or portrait orientation. And it will be sized to my papers, so we might trim some of these down. If you are recycling a box, you just want the front cover, some sort of a spine, and the back cover. So my tallest page is going to be a printable. So if I were to measure this, to see how this is not even, so I'm going to want to get a good straight line. And it's pretty much the right height. I thought it was going to be a little bit tall, but let me cut these straight and I will be back in a moment. I might as well show you what I'm doing here. I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers board. I wasn't sure if I could get the knife to go through this because it's thick, but I tested it. It's fine. It's mostly fine. So I have a straight edge and I'm going to trim some off the bottom, some off the top, and get a nice straight line. So yes, this board is working just fine, or this cutter is working just fine through this thick box board. I have a straight line to butt this up against the top. And is that in frame? Yes. Okay, so this just over the 11-inch mark. Let's start up here. There. Now we have some nice straight edges to work with on our box, which is our cover. And that is perfect. So this will be my tallest. This is my 8.5 by 11 printable. So that is my tallest sheet that I will have. And then the spine on this particular box, that's a 2-inch spine right there. That's 2 inches. That's what I'm working with. I think we're going to do 5 signatures is my thought. And I may do a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. Don't hold me to that, but that's kind of my thinking right now is 5 and 5. Okay, so I'm going to pause and I'm going to cut the other box. Be right back. Okay, so both of my boxes are cut now. A lot of the printables we're just about finished printing. So I'm printing wallpaper from some of my wallpaper kits, bespoke blooms, try to remember some of the other ones, and then on the other side I'm printing from my Steely Blue basic journal pages. That is a tall kit. The basic blues is a tall kit already, and the wallpapers are, to me, directional, but they're okay to go non-directional as well. So, but the Steely Blue kit is definitely tall and skinny out of the basic journal kits. The next part I want to do is just arrange my tall papers for my signatures, and then we'll add some shorter stuff. Some, you know, we'll get some various sizes in there to make it look junk journal-y. So I've laid out some papers in front of me to use for these two journals, and I've grabbed a couple of these old vintage books I've bought secondhand. And this is probably a good time to say this. I know not everyone agrees with cutting up old books, and I completely respect that. Some believe that books should be left intact, and I understand the sentiment behind preserving them as they are. But here's my take. Many of the books that I use are damaged. They're discarded, or they're destined for the landfill. So I see value in giving them a second life by carefully choosing beautiful pages, interesting text, fonts, vintage illustrations, just the aesthetic sometimes of the aging of the paper, and then incorporating them into junk journals. These journals are made from recycled materials, layers and layers of creativity, and the best part is those once forgotten pages, never to be seen again, or books never to be seen again, that are tucked away in a dusty old shelf, or in a box in a basement, or perhaps on their way to the landfill. We get to enjoy them again and showcase them, and they can be enjoyed again by others. So with my following of creatives such as yourself, I know that you're either gaining inspiration from the materials I'm using, or these journals that are sold, someone is going to treasure these again instead of them being forgotten. So to me, it's not destruction, it's transformation. And that is my take on using old books. But I do respect your opinion, and I just ask that everyone be polite. If you ever comment about someone else's decision to use like an Edith Holden book or something, just be polite in the comments, because there's something to be said for both. And I just hope that you respect my decision on using secondhand books in my journals. Let's begin by folding our printables in half. So I'm folding them lengthwise, or keeping them tall, and just simply folding them right down the middle. So you need to start somewhere with some sort of a base. So I know that I am going to have printables in each of the 5 signatures, and I will divide these up evenly after I've got them all folded. And keep in mind that I want to do one of the journals kind of a pink theme and one kind of blue. So I'll be separating those in a moment. And then the next thing I want to do is fold the tea dyed and the avocado dyed papers. I got rid of a few that were a little burnt looking, and then replace them with some better ones. But let's just get through this part quickly, and then we'll talk a little bit about the book pages. Their size, obviously. This book, what size are these? I won't be using them all, but let me pick the... I definitely want to use these ones. Looks like they're about the same size. Well, would you look at that? I like that that's stuck on there. Would definitely like to keep that. Maybe I'll do that one this way. So like I said, right now I'm just folding the long, I'm going to set this one to the side, but it's roughly going to be a little bit wider. That's okay. I've got lots of room in there. This one, ABC Bunny, I definitely want to use this page, but that's right down the middle, and I like to preserve that part of it. So I'm just going to fold this so that something is sewn into the, it's a little too far, isn't it? Just a second. Let me do it this way. So this part is sewn into the signature, and this part, I'll just do it as a flip on the other side, or a fold or something. That's better. Let's see if I can get that crease out. Okay, there's that one. See, lithographs. Love it. Love it. Look how cute these guys are. I like these old. Those are great. So we will keep those too. Okay, and there's another, this whole book's about bunnies, so I will clearly be using some of these bunny images, but we might cut those smaller. Set those to the side. The music sheets for sure I want to use. So remember, I have 2 journals to do here. I know this looks like a lot of pages, but I am doing 2 journals. There's some bunnies again, so cute. Definitely some bunnies here. Wild boar. I think these flowers and that butterfly are beautiful. So remember I said 5 signatures. Now we are going to add more smalls to this. And ledger paper and music paper. Well, there's enough music paper in here already, I think. So I have 2 journals. So let's just separate these real quick. So 2 and 2, 2 and 2. 2, I need 1 more of these. 2 and 2. Okay, so bunny, deer, squirrel. Oh, there's a deer. Looks like I need 1 more colored page. Oh, there. And then I've got a neutral and a neutral. That's pretty even. And then I want to do one that's more of the blues. Blue. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one, and we'll do that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I did say 5 signatures, so that's 5 printables, 1 for each signature. And I have 2 piles. I know this is pink and blue, but primarily blue. So basically I'm going to have a blue journal and a pink journal. That's my thought. Okay, so I've got these selected. So let's move on to next steps. Okay, so beginning with the pink journal, I'm going to start making 5 signatures. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to kind of separate these. So every other kind of thing. And then I have, I think I'll put the pinks. So you have 2 2. This still just has 1, so more of a neutral. Who's a high color? You put bunny there. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You a neutral, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. That 1, 2, 3, and then I have this extra one. So the extra one's going to go in the middle. Right? So I have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This is the middle signature. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then we're going to decide what's going on the outside and what's going on the inside. So I think the very beginning of the journal will start with this pretty wallpaper, and then a music sheet, and then we'll put the tea dyed in the middle, or the avocado dyed, sorry. And then I think I might mix it up a bit and put the book page on the outside, printable, tea dyed. I don't have a music one on the outside yet, so let's do that. Printable, avocado dyed. Actually, let's put that guy right beside there. And the avocado dyed in the middle. And here, so we have wallpaper, book page, but it's music. So this one will start with the tea dyed paper, the printable, and then the neutral book page inside. And then let's end with new wallpaper again. So wallpaper, book page, and the neutral book page. Okay, so if I put these in order like this, this is my basic start to my pink journal. And we have a pink bunny. And that's just what you're going to see through there with that wallpaper. Now, if I wanted a busier wallpaper pattern, can I just look? I'm just going to look at maybe possibly switching the printable. It's very, very pink. Let's maybe look at switching front and back here. The back signature with the front signature. I kind of like that better. That's showing through with the bunny. These book pages are obviously too long, so those will have to be shortened. Is that better? I like that pink. Save the cover for the next video, and let's start adding some shorter items to our signatures. So how much room do we have? A fair amount. We're going to be adding lace and pockets and all the things. So I said music sheets and ledger sheets. So let's grab some of those and make them smaller, and we'll start doing some layering. Okay, so I've grabbed a few more things. I have this stack of double-sided kind of a linen feel paper. So I think I wanted to just grab like probably one for the pink book, one for the blue book, but I'll do that later. I grabbed a few of these photo envelopes. These are definitely vintage. I have some pink cardstock, just a light, I think this is like a 60-pound cardstock. I have some shipping paper, packing paper. I have some old gift wrap. I'm not sure where I got that. I grabbed a gift bag. So this gift bag is not super shiny. It's a little bit matte. It's not glossy, at least. So I thought that would be a nice thing to recycle and use. I have music paper. I have a ledger book, which has both the pink and blue, which is perfect. And this is like a school registry, like an attendance book. It's a lot of pink and blue. So I thought these pages would be great. So I'm going to get some pages out of these, cut up some of those, and I'll be right back. So with this gift bag, as you know, they have a bottom box. So I'm going to begin by just cutting that off. Set that aside. Okay, so the bag has this gusseted side. So if that was part of your signature, grab a signature here. So if that, your signature laid in here like that, so I just need to cut off one end or the other. That. And then I'm just going to cut part way up the bag. This. And let's see again. So if this was sewn in like that, this could come back. If the fold was on the inside, I may need to remove this top piece because it's pretty thick. And then this could be folded in again like this. Does that make sense? So you could have a really nice pull out inside the journal. So let's see about this top edge here. It's gonna fold up nicely for me. Let's save the ribbon. And pull that through. Yep. We'll save the ribbon. We'll recycle that in the little card. I mean, look at how much paper we're getting out of a gift bag. Don't forget to recycle those. For different sizes right now, right? I have the school register. I have 2 music sheets. I have 1 ledger page, cardstock, this guy. And then we'll try to figure out something fun to do with this gift bag. That has a nice top edge. And then this is clearly shorter than the rest, but do we want it even shorter? And then we could reuse this pink somewhere else. I kind of like that idea. So we've got this strip to use. We'll put it aside. We'll use that for decorating later. So if I were to center that there, it's close. This side, I think we'll make that some sort of a pocket there. And it's also a flip. And it's also a bit of a pull out. So there'll be a little bit of journaling space there. I kind of like that. And it's kind of, that journaling space is kind of hidden, isn't it? I like that. Because if you were flipping through and there's this pocket, but then if you realized you could pull the pocket out, you've got this journaling space. We'll put some nice writing paper on that. So that's cute. Let's probably round those corners. That should have less interference that way. Okay, I like that. Okay, so the very front we don't want to mess with. I like that we could put something against this blue here. And that we could also make this a pocket, I think. By making that a little bit shorter. So let's just pick a height. Doesn't matter what. And we'll fold this in half. Pocket on the inside or the outside. It doesn't matter. Pick one. Perfect for something like that. Okay. Better. Still a little high, but not terrible. Let's see. I'm okay with it sticking out the top a little bit, are you? Yeah. If not, we can always go back and rip it out. Rip it down a little. Okay, so you have a vintage piece. We have some interesting pockets. This second signature is a little bit thin. We did ledger paper in that first one, so let's do some music paper in this one. And a little bit. So we wrap that around, leaving a little bit of the pink showing, which I like. Now there's some dark colors in here, so I like how this music paper bridges that gap, so to speak. So then on this side, if we come around, we can make some sort of a fold out or some sort of a envelope or a pocket. So again, showing a little edge of the pink yet, and then these darker colors bridging the gap between that print and this. So I like that very much. Now this is still quite a thin thing, and our center, we want something a little bit sturdy in there. Better. Okay, and then our center signature we've thickened up with the gift bag. So fourth one, we'll do a music sheet again, and then we'll do a ledger page at the, actually let's just do ledger page right now. And I kind of like the idea of doing this right on the outside of this. And then I'm going to come back in somewhat this, and then this will be some sort of a fold or a pocket. So that's good. Happy with that. And then I also want something kind of stiff in the center. I'll have to come back to that. And then the last one, oh, we've got a music sheet in here already. So let's change our mind. I like that wallpaper as is. Oh, here, this is great. Either side of that is good. Okay, and then we'll do this, we'll use the music sheet this time. Let's start it from the back this time and put the pocket up front. I want to see a little bit of layering, and then I think this we might be able to fold down and glue for a little stability. Like that. Yep. Like that. Okay. Okay, let's add a few more shorter things to our signatures. It's coming along though. It's getting thick. We need to shorten a few of these guys that are too tall. That left to do yet. But I'm liking where we're at so far. So this was something I picked up thrifting. I couldn't tell you what the, it's a couple pieces of ephemera there. There's some stickers. There's letters we can cut out. We'll save that for later. Some more cutouts. Very cute. But right now I'm interested in the pages. So I thought these were really pretty, but they are single-sided and very thin. So I like, we're working on the pink journal, so I'm going to grab a couple pink. Let's start with this one. I like that layering. So that could be some sort of a pouch or just glued shut, one or the other. That could be a pocket that way. It's very pretty. And then what's on the other side? Another little tuck, that's pretty. And then that white space that we're trying to cover up or glue shut. Yeah, I like the way that looks. So we've accomplished a few things here. We've gotten rid of the white space. So what did I do? So start again. So first things first, let's get our creases down really nice. Line up our edges. And let's go with some glue and some washi tape. I'm going to do this other side, same thing. That. All right, so let's glue our top and bottom together. I'm just gluing all four sides basically. I've never done this before. I'm just guessing. This is one thing I love doing, is just experimenting and trying things. Okay. So if I put those two sides together, close this one up. So basically I'm making a pout, or I'm just basically doubling the paper up, or what would you call this? I'm gluing it shut. This little split here, I would like to put some washi tape on it. This is my favorite washi tape of all time. Not sure if that's straight or not, but let's go with that. There. Oops. Okay. And then bring this up. I typically don't glue my pockets, side pockets, until it's sewn together. And I think I'll stick with that premise because I might need to trim those edges, and we'll see. But I think that's really pretty. I like that. So it's glued shut everywhere. We've reinforced the spine with some washi tape. Happy with that. Okay. So, there we go. Yeah, that's pretty. That's very pretty. So I like the blue colors matching, this matching that. That's a really nice transition piece right there. I like that very much. And that bulked up that signature. What was the last one? Okay, what else did we have? I have one of these envelopes. So I was thinking actually right here at the beginning where I have this blue on the inside. It's quite a bit of just stark blue, so I'm sure we'll be adding something to it. But let's just fold this photo envelope in half. Now I realize I keep putting things in the center. You do not have to. You can, you know, do this. Maybe we'll do that at the bottom here. Okay, so that's neat. Let's do something similar, but just maybe with a side tuck instead. So let's just fold the whole thing in half. Let's make one of the sides about the same size as our signatures. That's good. And then if this was a fold over, what we can do to get rid of, eliminate that white. So if this was where the page goes in, so let's find a signature that this is going to go in. First of all, let's see. That one's kind of bulky with that blue envelope. This one could use a little something something. Cute. Maybe right here in the center. Whoop. Oh. Okay, so here's an idea here. If we put this as a page, which I like this because the green and the green, I like that there. That's just a regular page. If that's glued down, and we will add some washi to it. This is the center of the signature, and then this goes here. So that what we'll end up doing is gluing this to this page, so this just becomes a pocket, and that hides the white space. But we'll do that once it's sewn in. But for now, I'm just going to we'll get it the right height, and we'll glue that shut and add some washi to reinforce that. So that doesn't appear very straight, so let's try a little harder, Kathy. There we go. So we'll start with a little glue. Go. So we'll close that. And again, that will be there. So let's get the height figured out. And I do want it the same height because we're going to do that pocket idea. Okay. And then some washi tape there. Just to reinforce that when we sew that into the spine. So works. Okay, so my top and bottom should be glued, unless you want to make that a long pocket. That's a really long pocket, so I don't suggest it. Could do a slit pocket if you want, like part way down. But if something got lost in there, you're doomed. So basically this is just going to be a thicker page, just simply because it's folded in half, which gives it a little bit of airy dimension. I don't mind that one bit. Okay, so that's one way to deal with the white backs, the white paper. We can just, once this is together, we could round corners, whatever, once it's sewn together. But then we will put glue here and here and glue it to the back of that page and have a long tuck there. Okay. All right, let's take care of some of these tall bits. And I think I'm happy. We'll just double check. We'll do one more. What's your I've lost track. Center, second. Is that the right order? I don't know. The most important thing is that that's at the front and this one's at the back, and that guy's in the middle. All right, so let's get some of this height taken care of. I'll be right back. I'm just going to do some ripping and figure out. Okay, now I'm not sure what this measures. This is a 12-inch, so it's just over 12 inches. So we could use one of these for the inside. Now keep in mind we need to trace out our bunny here, and we need to cover this with something before we apply anything so it's not see-through. I think this would probably, this packing paper would be great. So this is the trickiest part here, is getting our that bunny area cut out properly. You can either go hold this up to a window, which is what I'm probably going to do. Probably the best thing to do is maybe tape this on partially, or get it glued on partially, temporarily anyway. I'm going to go hold this up to a window so I can see through and just trace that bunny. I don't think there. Can you see that light coming through? So that's the idea, is I'm going to go hold this up to a window and trace this bunny out. Okay, so I have traced that bunny out up against a window, and I just ran the pencil and actually gently felt for the ledge. There is an edge piece to the box board itself. So I'm going to take this back off. We'll cut the bunny out, and we'll keep the bunny because we'll use him as a template for whatever paper we decide to do our cover in. There, so that worked pretty good with the craft knife, as opposed to cutting it with scissors. Pretty happy with that. So now when I glue this on, I'm going to hang on to this as a template to trace around to cut out whatever for the next, or you could hold it up to a window again, but it might be, we'll see. So probably best not to, it's probably best for us to decorate our cover before we add the signatures, because we're going to be messing with this bunny silhouette here. So we probably should decorate our cover first. There. That covers that up nicely. So let's get out some glue for this guy. Okay, so now I can cut this a little bit closer. That looks fine. Got that rough edge there. Some of this. And then we will glue in, you might want to give yourself a little bit of a cut where the spine folds are in the cover. Fold that straight down. And then these will just kind of trim in a little bit. A little bit of an angle there. But I would definitely put your bottom piece up first. Get the full width. There we go. And then these you can just so you don't have bulk in there. Now your pockets, don't fret about your pockets, I'm sorry, your corners. You basically want to come in on a very small, see this is straight on, that's straight on, this is a bit of an angle. We want to leave about a scissors width that we don't cut, like to there. And then you want to turn or come back in this way, same thing with just that very small angle. Real small angle, like that. So you'll see people do it like this, where they come in and then they turn. But to me, that's even too far. Like, or no. Like, really want to turn the scissors more like that. But leave just a little bit there so it covers the corner. It's going to like basically wrap on top of itself. If that makes sense. This one's not glued down yet. All right, let's see if we can get these on. So I've heard arguments for and against. Do your long sides versus your short sides first. Doesn't matter to me. I'm sure there's pros and cons. So see how there's an overlap there at the bottom, like with this thing, this side? So when we fold this up, it's going to fold that in with it, and then it'll take care of that corner. Should be. This one I cut a little close. We'll see if it works. But at this point, this is just the under covering, so I'm not super concerned about having amazing corners just now. I do have that 5-in-1 ruler that I bought that does beautiful corners. But that's another video. I've done it. I did it with a witch journal, actually, if you want to look at that demonstrated. Okay, I ran out of space, so I had to free up some space and start again. But we were just at the end where I was folding the edges over to complete our covering up the box with some shipping paper. And then I was just about to do the cover. So the cover, I think I'm going to come just inside and leave a little margin of the craft paper showing. I really like that look. So again, I'm going to go hold this up to the window. See my bunny there again? I'm going to place this right where I want it and paper clip it. And then I'm going to trace that. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to trace him again and cut him out. I'm making sure I have enough at either side. I'm going to trim it so there's a margin on either side. And then this I'll be cutting because we'll have a lace spine after we sew the signatures in. So this will be plenty wide enough for front and back. I really like this. This is just a plain script. And then around that, of course, you're going to see that bunny through. So I'm really liking this combination. So I'm going to go trace this bunny and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've traced my bunny with some pencil and I'm going to now just cut him out on that small mat I had. Okay, so let me grab my eraser. Some of this pencil marks off this guy. And we'll see how that lines up. That underneath. So let's ink it first and see what that looks like. And you know what? I'm just going to cut this right now. And then this will be what shows through. I think that's cute. So what I was thinking there for half a second though was about possibly lining between here and here some really thin lace. I have this, it's really sweet. So if I were to, let me just grab a piece so I can kind of demonstrate what I'm talking about here. So if I were to glue this to the inside, let me just tape it for now. What do you think of that? That's really pretty actually. I think I'm going to do that. How pretty is that? Get our signatures in here. Oh, I think that's so pretty. Really pretty. And of course, we'll add some more things to the cover. But I think for today, I will leave you there with that. And then we'll continue some more tomorrow. Now you go ahead and add something to the back that's pretty straightforward. Just just add some more of your, whatever you did to the, whatever you want to do to the back cover. Leave the spine for now. We're going to probably cover the inside, and then we will add our signatures in before we do any more decorating to the cover, and before we pick a lace for the spine as well. So I think whatever we pick for the lace here will determine how we finish decorating the front of our bunny journal. I think that's so adorable. So cute. So cute. Okay, well, thanks for hanging out with me for part 1 and part 2. Tomorrow we will finish this journal, and I won't be able to do both of my journals. I'm going to continue doing that second journal, but I won't be able to do both for the video. But of course, isn't that cute? I just think that's adorable. Okay, I will leave you with that and continue decorating, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.